Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers Showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another small fighter. And this one is very small, very compact, and called the Spectre class defense fighter, which is this lovely thing over here. So this is a heavily armed small fighter to fly in and deal as much damage as possible and then get out as quickly as possible. Pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, the Spectre class defense is 338 small blocks using the decorative block number 2 and Wasteland DLC packs. We can see a little bit of information about it right here, so we'll just give that a thumbs up. We'll move all the way around to the very front. We'll have a quick look around the outside, then we'll fly around for a bit to see what it can do. So at the very front here, this is what we get. Front and center, we've got ourselves a lone hydrogen thruster to help this ship stop. On the left and right of that, we got ourselves our Wasteland spotlights to light up the darkness with a rocket launcher right below there. If we were to move slightly up and above here, we'll see our fighter cockpit to fly this thing around, and 2 transparent LCD screens which have a script and our standard hydrogen and power usage. If you were to come all the way around to look at the back of these LCD screens, there we go. So we got our radar system on this side, and there is our hydrogen and power usage on that side. Again, like another ship that I've recorded that may have been released before or after this, is a novel way of getting more screens on a cockpit in case you've used up the ones down here. We just move all the way around from there and start to look on the side. We'll see a couple of Gatling guns with another hydrogen thruster on the left and right of our cockpit to also help us stop. Just above our cockpit, we've got ourselves a Gatling turret so we can have some automated firepower just in case you want to be very lazy while engaging with your enemies. Moving around to here, we'll see a ion thruster to help us out in space, another Gatling gun down below our cockpit, some great use of our unfinished blast or edge blocks that come across onto a camera to help aim our Gatling guns more precisely, and attached onto those blast or edge blocks, got ourselves some magnetic plates and a blinking red light. If you were to continue around the side, there's another ion thruster to help us on our left and right, another blinking red light. Then tucked away under here, we've got ourselves our programmable block, which is for our radar script sitting at the very front right there. Pulling away from that and starting to move around to the very back, this is what we get. We've got some hydrogen thrusters to push us around, which should give us some nice speed while moving around. And we also have a couple of ion thrusters for good measure. Just above our ion thrusters, we've got ourselves an antenna to make sure we can always find this thing, and a few more hydrogen thrusters to help push us down while in space. Up and above, this is what we get. We can see our turret taking up the majority of the top space, and we've got a few more ion thrusters to help push us down, along with another blinking red light. Towards the front there, we can see our transparent LCD screens, and if we were to drop down and move underneath, this is what we get. So there's our rocket launcher at the front, there's some more Gatling guns, there's our camera on our blast or edge blocks, there's the magnetic plate, the blinking red light, and a connector to dock this thing up, refuel this thing with ammunition or hydrogen, depending on what you need. Moving towards the back, we then got some more great use for our unfinished blocks, making out these little vent type parts right here. And at the very back, there we go. And that is a very brief look around the outside of the Spectre class defense fighter, and it does look fantastic with how it's all been set up. There's a lot of stuff going on with this, a lot of firepower, yet it's still kept a very small design. So what we can do now is just grab hold of my character, we can come over to tab number 1, bring up the HUD. This is what we get. First of all, we'll just look around in the cockpit, so that's a view we get all the way around us. We can see our Gatling guns on the side there when they're firing. And at the front there, we can easily see our transparent LCD screens, and of course all the stuff inside the cockpit. But as for the controls, number 1 is going to be for our Gatling guns at the front there to fire them all together, with number 2 being for our lone rocket launcher. There we go. Number 4 is for our camera sitting on our blast or edge blocks so we can precisely aim our Gatling guns. And number 5 is for our Wasteland spotlights at the front there to turn them on and off. Number 7 is for our antenna on and off. Number 8 is for our batteries to auto or recharge. And number 9 is to set our hydrogen tanks to stockpile on and off. So when we dock up with that connector, we can suck out any kind of hydrogen from the station. On tab number 2, 3 and 4, we got nothing else. So what we can do now is fly towards one of these asteroids and just check out how well this thing handles. So moving forwards, this is what we get. We've got some nice speed moving forwards, and coming to a stop, we seem to be equally as fast. And it does appear we've found a military mine layer up there but you can always pay a visit instead of crashing this into an asteroid. Anyway, yes, moving left and moving right, we're only a little bit slower than moving forwards and backwards. Moving down and then moving up. Again, it feels about the same as moving left and right. And then moving my mouse around, this is what we get. We've got no weight whatsoever on here, so we are extremely floaty. So you may want to turn down the gyroscopes if you do like having a little bit of weight on there, but that's personal preference at the end of the day. But yes, what we do now is fly over to the military mine layer, who's a friendly. But we're not going to be very friendly to them. No, we're going to blast them with our cannon guns and see how badly this goes. Usually they are quite well armed with quite a lot of turrets. Yes, it's always a bit of fun just to fly things at other ships. And here we are, we're now roughly 3 kilometers out. Let's get a good view of our camera all the way forwards. That is what it looks like. So yes, we can see some rocket turrets on there. We can see some Gatling turrets at the front there. So it's a rather well armed ship, but it shouldn't go hostile right away. We should have to lose some reputation before it starts to engage. That means we get a free target practice against it. So we should bring that up. We are now well within range. We're going to start shooting it. Here we go. We should start to lose some reputation, which means we should be able to start taking out some of their turrets. There we go. That's now dead. And they probably won't engage. So I don't think we're actually losing any kind of reputation. So we can just shoot there we go. We can shoot all the warheads in the back there. And that should have done a nice lot of damage. Yes, it has. And we now fly all the way around. We can destroy their beacon inside there. They don't need to call for any kind of backup. And we're going to destroy that right there. And we can shoot some rockets into the back there. There we go. Not as good as the Gatling guns, because there is more of them. And we can always move all the way around to here. And there we go. We can make it fly very wonky by taking out some of the thrusters on the side. But yes, that is pretty much it for what the Spectre class defense fighter has to offer. It's a lovely little fighter if you are looking for something small, compact, and well armed. The last thing to do is just slam it straight into this little mine layer, and that will be that. So as per usual, there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself. I recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video at some point soon. Bye bye.